Hey guys, it's Amy from Ara Ara here for episode 8. So we've actually reached this far watching together. So I'm really glad that you guys continue to watch me and have supported me this far. Please, if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe to at Ara Ara Podcast, and you can also follow me as well at Hasta La Vista Amy on Instagram and TikTok. So I just wanted to talk about, like in the previous episode, because I was pretty much stuck on talking about the kids, that I didn't get to discuss much about the other stuff. So, but like I feel like they were very crucial to the story, that it's not something I can just let go. So I just wanted to really reiterate that I hate Kana's mother. I'm so pissed off with her. Like, I mean, what kind of a mother does that? It's just so cruel to use someone so innocent. Like, okay, I get that she's a loving mother towards her own child, and I'm sure she meant well, but it's just disgusting that she was giving love to her own child at the expense of another child suffering. So like, that's just not fair to Kotaro. It's just, and on top of that, she made it seem like she was doing Kotaro a favor. So just messed up. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about Mizuki, because I didn't get much into it. I feel like I got pretty sidetracked. I was just sort of like in passing, and I just want to say that with Mizuki, I'm really glad that she had a support system, like that everyone in the building was really supportive of her situation and wanted to help her. Like, no one disregarded her. They did have their own perspectives though of how to go about the abuse that she was getting from her boyfriend. But yeah, I mean, at least they all tried to help in their own way. And another thing that I'm really angry about is that Mizuki was the victim of abuse, and so she went to the police, and instead of investigating, or at least, I don't know, providing her with like a restraining order so the guy can't like get any closer to her to help alleviate her situation, they just didn't do anything. And I find it really heartbreaking that for both Kotaro and Mizuki, who were both the victims of abuse, that they're the ones who had to adjust their entire lives while the abusers are still out there, and it's unfair. At least Mizuki was able to teach Kotaro another lesson about strength and how it's all right to stand up to your abuser, and even if it doesn't turn out the way that you expected. Like, she also still told him like it was the right thing to go to the police and follow Karino's advice. So yeah, that's it. Let's start with episode 8.
I just had to open my big, stupid mouth.
I'm supposed to watch whatever's popular in theaters to get some inspiration for my manga.
Well then, I have no choice. Fear not. I shall accompany you to the movie theaters as your guardian.
Would it be okay if our little ones tagged along too?
Karino, hurry up! Let's go!
I'm not gonna make it.
This is why I hate kids.
Let's see this!
Dinosaur Hunter 3D. Will you be okay if we don't see this one today?
Matters not to me.
Can we get popcorn?
So expensive. If I don't buy it, are they gonna tease him for having a cheap guardian? I know kids can be mean.
The snacks are on me!
Karino, can we go to the toy store next?
I regret that we cannot stay. The purpose of today's outing was for Sir Karino to do research for his work.
No, it's fine. I'll just work later.
Sir Karino, you must not neglect your responsibilities. You're off. Good day.
Huh?
Okay.
Karino, thanks for the money!
Oh.
Are you mad or something?
It would appear that you enjoy hanging out with my friends more than with me. You are supposed to be my guardian.
No, I am so sorry for showing your friends a good time.
Cease your laughter at once! I will not be made fun of!
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not making fun. I think I'm gonna head back to the movies, you know, for work. We can watch Tono-saman.
It would be rude of me to make you go alone.
The theaters.
I will save the day. I am Tono-saman.
How is this show so boring?
Well, at least he's watching it. Like, props to him.
Am I to understand once again you could not see your son?
His mom says he doesn't want to see me. He'll come around eventually.
May I help you, sir?
Huh? You got a problem? Who the heck do you think you are, Mr. Big Shot?
I'm a resident of these apartments.
Hmm? Hey, wait! Maybe you might know my dad.
Hmm?
Knew it. Yep.
Wait, what? No, this can't. I don't have a son.
You're joking, right? My dad's way more put together than this guy.
I did not expect Sir Tomaru to be your father. I was led to believe you no longer wanted to have anything to do with your father.
Not true. My mom made that up.
Hey, Kotaro!
Papa!
Yuta!
Hey there, Pops. It's been a while, huh?
You shouldn't be here.
But I just wanted to see you. Even Mom can't stop me from being your son.
I'm extremely disappointed in this behavior, Yuta. You not only lied to your mother, you showed no regard for my feelings. You can't go around doing whatever you want.
But Mom wouldn't tell me when I could see you next and—
We're not talking about your mom. We're talking about you right now. Listen, whether you like it or not, you gotta stick to the schedule. I'm sorry it has to be like this. Ow! Ow, 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 ow!
What kind of heartless fiend would turn him away?
Well, I don't want Yuta to grow up thinking it's acceptable to break the rules. I hated having to send him away. But it was the right thing to do. It isn't always easy for a dad to show he cares. I bet it was the same with yours.
What's that mean?
I'm not condoning the things he did or the way he treated you. That was wrong, but I'd like to believe, deep down, he really did love you. After all, how could a father not adore his own son?
Have heart, Sir Tomaru. You did well to hold back these tears in front of Yuta.
Hey, I'm Take Sumire. I just moved into apartment 201.
Finally, the girl in the intro.
Guess one hottie moves out and another moves in.
Karina, oh my god.
Don't tell me you never separate your recycling. That's like adulting 101, guys. Good morning, Kotaro. It's nice to see someone around here knows how to properly separate their recycling.
Well, she has plenty of nice things to say to the kids. Whoa. What the? It's pretty obvious she isn't comfortable around kids. I figured Kotaro would pick up on that. Why is he chasing her around? You're not into kids, are you?
How did you know? I don't dislike them.
Kotaro is pretty observant. I'm sure he knows. All I'm saying is you don't need to fake it. Just be yourself.
It's just that easy for men, isn't it? You have no idea what it's like to be a woman who's not good around kids. It's not my fault, and I didn't choose to be this way. I'm working so hard to fix myself. Don't tell me there's nothing I can do. I love tag.
Come on. He's gotta know Takei's not great with kids.
There was a time when my parents did not know how to act around me. They were taught to overcome their uncertainty. It can be done, and I shall help you do it.
I should have known. That kid is always thinking 5 steps ahead of us. Hey, kid. You've been putting on some weight, huh?
He did not.
I have become quite round as of late. It is important for a growing boy to eat 3 square meals a day. Oh, may I remind you that I do not eat tissues anymore.
He was eating tissues? That's terrible. Well, you know, binge eating could explain the weight gain.
Well, he wasn't binge eating before. It's gotta be something more recent.
Hey, what is that, a kid's menu?
There's a PTA meeting to discuss it.
You think maybe I could go?
I'm surrounded by kindergartners. I did not think this through.
Miss Toko, how is everything? We want to make sure these kids are eating healthy snacks, not all that junk.
This appears to be a well-balanced meal. I can't imagine this is the cause of his weight gain.
Hey, Kotaro! You'll eat my leftovers again today, right? You want mine too? Kotaro! Don't forget about mine! Kotaro always eats our leftovers. He loves it.
Hey, are you even hungry still?
Not really. But I cannot stop whenever food is put in front of me. I would hate for it to go to waste.
You know more than anyone that a daily meal isn't always guaranteed.
Goodness, I had no idea. I just assumed Kotaro had a healthy appetite. I'll do my best to make sure this doesn't happen again.
It's pretty smart having the parents and students eat lunch together. Gives you a great perspective of what's going on with them.
You should join us for the next lunch.
Me? I think I'd like that very much.
I have a better idea. This game is entitled Chase Lady Takei! Come on, everyone, follow me!
I knew this was a bad idea.
An intriguing-looking rock. I shall take it home and add it to my extensive collection. Occasionally, I display all of my treasures and admire them at my leisure while sipping cold milk.
One ticket to the Museum of Treasures.
Salutations, my friends, and welcome to my museum.
Wait, these are his treasures?
Oh, the drawing of the ice cream day. I mean, the ice cream day.
And these are the band-aids I doodled on.
Oh.
One of your treasures is the shopping bag from our trip we took to the mall together!
What are those?
These gloves are the only thing my mother left behind. She wore them any time she had to give me a bath or feed me.
Kotaro, those are not treasures. You need to throw them away. If you can't do it yourself, I'll do it for you.
I need them in
I
case
said throw them away!
Back off! Leave him be!
Hey, Isamu, calm down.
Why do you always wear those gloves when you get her dressed?
I don't like touching her. I can't help it. I can't stand to look at her. And touching her makes me sick to my stomach.
Apologies, Lady Takei. It is because of these gloves that my mother could touch me at all.
And you still love her? After all that?
Of course. It is why I cannot throw them away.
If it were me, I wouldn't want to hold on to a memory like that one.
That's you, though. For him, maybe even a painful memory is better than forgetting her altogether, because that's all he has left of his mom.
I promise I will always have these gloves waiting for you. Whenever you come back home. Best be ready for this, Sir Hide. I am now prepared to pass the ball.
Just kick it already, kid!
It's interesting that they've introduced 2 new characters like 3 episodes before the finale of the season.
I'm so nervous. How come you never look nervous?
It's nothing to be nervous about. We've got this one. Just play like you always do.
Exactly.
Not you. You need to play better.
I hope my actions were able to assist your shot.
All you were doing was running away from the ball.
Precisely as you instructed.
Defense! You think the other team's gonna wait for you?
The other team's coach is a real drill sergeant.
Hide! Why don't you ever listen to me when I talk to you?
Hey, what's wrong with you? What are you teaching him, huh? You're here with him all day. You need to
I had a friend who did this. It always helped calm me down whenever the bad memories came back. This will pass. No one on this field is upset with you. Stop being shy!
I'm not!
Was a rather good shot.
Yeah, really good shot.
Okay, so for the first part of episode 8, the episode poses to test the reliability of Karino as a guardian. And well, he was able to take up that challenge really well, and maybe a bit too well, because Kotaro ended up being envious of his classmates. It actually reminded me of the first episode where Kotaro says something along the lines to Karino of, "I'm warning you, do not get too attached." And then now you see Kotaro and Karino has really bonded together to the point that it's Kotaro who has this attachment now to Karino. And now he possibly views him as a father figure, but because he isn't his father, he can lose him at any time. So his fear is being brought out through being envious that, oh, he's giving more attention to my classmates than me. But like in Karino's perspective, he just wants the best for Kotaro. So he's being nice to his classmates so that they don't have anything to say towards Kotaro. And I think it's really great that we get to see Karino grow into his role as a guardian and how he's able to start handling it better. And yeah, speaking of father figures, they've stitched up the next part of the episode with Tarina and Yuta, and Yuta was so cute. Like, immediately I knew the moment there was a kid acting the way Tarina does and had, you know, all the clothing and like that sort of fashion sense. Like, aside from it being the cutest thing in the world, like honestly it was pretty obvious that he was Tarino's son. And it's just funny that Kotaro assumed that it would still be Karino who would be the dad. Like, Karino from the beginning, like from the very first episode, is like always freaking out about having a son. So it's just very funny. So this part of the episode is interesting because we always see Tarino not caring about what people thought of him, and we've also seen him always overly enthusiastic about Kotaro's presence because it's a reminder of his own son. However, now that his own son is around, as much as he loves the fact that he's there, as much as he wants to be able to showcase the same carefree sort of love he's giving Kotaro, unfortunately it is not possible because of the fact that he loves Yuta so much that he would not want him to be associated with him, or just because he doesn't want him to grow up to be anything like him. Not that, you know, Tarino's a bad guy. I mean, like, he's been great throughout the series. It's just that he can handle gossip, he can handle his own. But obviously, as a loving father, this is not something he wants his own son to experience at all. He wants him to grow up, be a good law-abiding citizen, and fit right into society. He needs him to take a better path than he did in life, and he'll do that even if it means pushing his son away, even if it means that he himself has to suffer. So in his head, while Kotaro's dad's actions are inexcusable and unacceptable, he can't fathom that there wasn't a place in Kotaro's father's heart where he couldn't have loved Kotaro at all, because if he himself, you know, is this sort of guy who's portrayed as like tough and is part of a gang and all of that, could sacrifice and love his son to that extent, it just doesn't make sense that Kotaro's dad wouldn't have loved him as much. And then also this episode, we get introduced to Take. We've been seeing her in the intro, but hey, they decided to finally introduce her as a new character like 3 episodes before the finale. And as far as Kotaro Lives Alone goes, like, there's only 1 season so far, and I don't know if they're ever gonna make a season 2 for this. I don't know. I mean, but it's the kind of story that probably doesn't go further than season 1, but I don't know. I mean, I would love for it to go to season 2 if ever. But yeah, anyways, we got introduced to Taki, and she's really uncomfortable around Kotaro. What surprised me about this episode is that we actually got to see Kotaro's own mental health improve through meeting Taki. She's uncomfortable around kids, right? And it reminds him of his own parents and how uncomfortable his own parents were around him. And he didn't take it as, she's uncomfortable around me, like I'm the problem, I probably need to be better, stuff like that. He took it as, my parents were the same as you, and I'm gonna see it as an opportunity to help you overcome your trauma around people like me, or kids. It was also nice seeing some backstory on her as well, and you can really see the contrast of how two different people can go through the same situation and just perceive it completely differently. Like how that quote goes, right? Like the same water that boils the egg softens the potato. I'm not sure if the quote's right, but it goes along those lines. But yeah, for Kotaro, again, I mentioned in the previous episodes, he's a very forgiving boy. So even if he was held with gloves because his mother couldn't bear to touch him, he was able to see a brighter side where he took it as, no, it's because of these gloves she was able to hold me, in contrast to Take, who resents her mother for such an act, because how can a person who loves their child be disgusted by them? But yeah, I mean, for Kotaro, it's something completely different. Kotaro loves his mom to the point that he's gonna hold on to the memory of the gloves even if it hurts, and he's even waiting for her to come back, and he's willing to even give those gloves just so he gets to be by her side again, just so she can hold him again, which was so heartbreaking, because I mean, we know that it's not ever gonna happen. And then we also see the food part of this episode. It's such a contrast to the tissues part of the episode, where you see a child being so neglected to the point that he doesn't have anything, and so he eats tissues instead because there's nothing else. But there's like this other spectrum where you see that neglect can also lead to excessive eating to the point of being unhealthy, which was what was happening with Kotaro. So even if the food was healthy, he was eating so excessively because he knows that this isn't something that's gonna come as often, and he lived the life where he didn't have any food, so he's just gonna eat everyone's leftovers even if he doesn't want to, just because he can't bear the sight of having food wasted, because he's lived that life where he had nothing. And I'm just really glad that they were able to implement, I don't know if it's like a thing in Japan, or like if it's a really common thing, or because I don't think it's a common thing elsewhere in the world, but it's really great that they have a system where the parents are in school and they're able to observe their kids, even if it's just through lunchtime, so that they're able to see how the kids are and their interactions they have, and get to stop anything that's not right immediately before it escalates into something worse. And then we get introduced to Hide as well in this episode, who is another new character introduced just 3 episodes before the finale. And again, a little bit like Kotaro, he knows abuse a little too well as well, but I'm still not sure what Kotaro went through exactly. I mean, you get some idea, but with Hide, it's more of a verbal abuse. Like, he gets really anxious that he freezes, like if he hears screaming, like when he hears someone screaming, especially if they're screaming because they're disappointed, even if it's not directed towards him, he just freezes up and he dissociates. It's incredible to me that Kotaro, as a 5-year-old, is able to spot these small things and knows how to remedy them, to bring him back to the reality that, hey, no one's upset with you or mad at you right now. But yes, it's also understandable why Hide doesn't accept Kotaro's help. I mean, he has this image that he's learned to portray in front of people, where he's calm and cool and collected, and he wants to be able to keep things that way. That's his way of coping, of making things normal. But yeah, and he would probably prefer to just keep it that way rather than like keep up pretenses, rather than face the anger that's around him. I'm glad that he was able to meet Kotaro. I hope we see more interactions with them together and how they resolve this story, because I mean, yeah, it's surprising that they're bringing two new characters into the story and its ending, and they also have like really deep backstories going on. So it's very interesting to see how this story will continue to unfold and how Kotaro is able to help them as well as learn from their situation. But yeah, that's it for today's episode. Again, I'm Amy, and you can follow me at @Amy. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Ara Ara Podcast. We are in probably every social media that you could think of. Yeah, we're on TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook. Please watch Viv's do Chrono Cross playthroughs on Facebook. Yeah, if you're a gamer and you want a little bit of nostalgia, go for it. So that's it. I'll see you guys for episode 9. Bye!
Ara Ara.